The Bluff arrives like a warning shot across the cinematic horizon, and from the very first moments of its official trailer, it makes one thing painfully clear. This story is not here to comfort you. It's here to confront you. Set in the brutal late 19th century Caribbean, The Bluff plunges audiences into a brutal world where legends are born through blood, power is seized through fear, and the past is never truly buried. This is a world where the ocean remembers every crime, every betrayal, every name carved into history with violence, and at the center of this storm stands a woman who once ruled those waters and believed she had escaped her destiny, until destiny came hunting her down. Priyanka Chopra Jonas steps into the role of Ercell Bloody Mary Bodden, a name whispered with dread across ports, taverns, and pirate routes, a former pirate queen whose reputation alone once froze men in their tracks. She wasn't just feared, she was respected, studied, and avoided. Her legend wasn't built on luck or myth, but on ruthless intelligence, unbreakable resolve, and the willingness to do what others couldn't. The trailer introduces her not as a larger-than-life myth, but as a woman who has deliberately erased that myth from her life, someone who has paid dearly for survival and now wants nothing more than anonymity. She lives quietly on a remote island, far removed from the chaos of her former life. Days are filled with routine instead of danger, with family instead of crew, with warmth instead of bloodshed. She is a wife, she is a mother, she is someone who has spent years convincing herself that the ocean no longer remembers her name, that the ghosts of her past have finally lost her scent. But even in these moments of peace, the trailer subtly reminds us that this calm is fragile, temporary, and possibly borrowed time. Because the ocean never forgets. The opening visuals of the trailer are almost cruel in their serenity. Gentle waves roll against the shore, sunlight cuts through palm leaves, laughter echoes faintly in the background. It feels earned, as though Ercell has finally paid her debt to the world. Yet the camera lingers just a bit too long, especially on her eyes that carry too much history to ever fully rest. Even in stillness, there's tension. Even in peace, there's vigilance. This is a woman who sleeps lightly, who listens to the wind not for beauty, but for warning. When dark sails finally appear on the horizon, everything changes. The shift is immediate and unsettling. The music deepens, the colors drain of warmth, and the atmosphere tightens like a noose. With the arrival of Captain Connor, played by Karl Urban, the past doesn't knock politely, it storms ashore with ruthless intent. Captain Connor is a man shaped by betrayal, by unfinished business, by wounds that never healed properly. He doesn't chase justice, he hunts closure. He believes some debts can never be forgiven, only collected. And his return signals that Ercell's attempt at reinvention has failed. He is the embodiment of everything she tried to outrun, everything she tried to bury beneath years of quiet living. The history between Ercell and Connor is never spelled out directly, but the trailer doesn't need exposition to explain it. You feel it in the charged silence between them. You feel it in the way Ercell's posture changes the moment his name is spoken. You feel it in the way Connor looks at her, not just with hatred, but with the cold satisfaction of someone who has waited a very long time for fate to circle back around. Their shared past hangs over every frame like a gathering storm, heavy and inevitable. What immediately separates The Bluff from typical action films is its refusal to romanticize violence. This is not a world of effortless victories or stylish heroics. Every fight shown in the trailer feels exhausting, brutal, and personal. Swords clash not for spectacle, but because there is no other option. Gunfire doesn't feel triumphant, it feels desperate, chaotic, and terrifying. Every wound carries weight. Every loss lingers far beyond the moment it happens. Violence here is not glamorous, it is costly. Priyanka Chopra Jonas's performance is the emotional core of the trailer. Her portrayal of Ercell is layered with contradiction, unbreakable strength paired with visible fear, fierce resolve shadowed by deep regret. When she fights, it's not out of pride or hunger for power. It's because she understands exactly what happens when she doesn't. The trailer emphasizes this internal war repeatedly, showing moments of hesitation, moments where her hands tremble before gripping a blade, moments where she looks at her reflection as if questioning whether she recognizes the person staring back. Every action sequence feels grounded in emotion. You don't just see Ercell fighting enemies, you see her fighting herself, fighting the identity she worked so hard to shed. Every step back into violence feels like a betrayal of the life she built, yet every step away feels like a death sentence for the people she loves. Karl Urban's Captain Connor serves as the perfect counterweight. He is relentless, methodical, and disturbingly calm. Where Ercell fights to protect what she has built, Connor fights to dismantle it piece by piece. He doesn't rush, he doesn't need to. His presence alone turns every scene into a ticking clock, a reminder that time has already run out. He represents consequences, the kind that don't fade with time or forgiveness. The Bluff also places heavy emotional emphasis on family, grounding its epic conflict in deeply human stakes. Ercell's husband represents the life she chose, a life defined by honesty, stability, and love, rather than fear. Their relationship feels real, textured, and quietly powerful. He knows who she was, he understands what she's capable of, and he loves her anyway. That love becomes both her anchor and her weakness, because it gives her something worth losing. Her son stands at the heart of everything. The trailer makes it clear that every decision Ercell makes is filtered through one haunting question. What kind of future will her past create for him? The fear of losing him, or worse, of turning into a legend he must one day carry, drives her actions more than revenge ever could. This is not a woman chasing dominance or glory. This is a mother fighting against destiny itself, trying to break a cycle that history insists on repeating. Visually, The Bluff is drenched in atmosphere. Storm-lashed seas tear ships apart. Lantern-lit taverns hum with suspicion and whispered threats. Jungle paths conceal ambushes and betrayals. The Caribbean setting is breathtaking, but merciless, a reminder that beauty and brutality often exist side by side. Nature itself feels like a character, unpredictable, powerful, and indifferent to human suffering. The costume design alone tells its own story. Ercell's armor is scarred, functional, and heavy, not ceremonial, not symbolic, but earned through survival. Every scrape and dent tells a story of battles already fought and ones yet to come. Her transformation back into Bloody Mary is not sudden or triumphant. It is slow, reluctant, and emotionally devastating. You can see the cost in her eyes as she reclaims the identity she never truly wanted, only accepted. Public reaction to the trailer has been intense and passionate. Viewers are praising the raw performances, the darker tone, and the refusal to soften the edges of the story. Many are calling this Priyanka Chopra Jonas's most daring and commanding role to date, applauding her portrayal of a character who is morally complex, emotionally scarred, and unapologetically powerful. Conversations online highlight how rare it feels to see a female-led action film that embraces its protagonist's trauma instead of glossing over it. Beyond its action, The Bluff hints at deeper themes that elevate it beyond a standard revenge narrative. It explores identity, who we are versus who we were forced to become. It examines legacy, what we leave behind, whether we intend to or not. It questions the idea of escape, asking whether anyone truly outruns their past, or if the past simply waits patiently for the right moment to return. As the trailer builds towards its final moments, the tension becomes almost suffocating. We see Ercell standing at the edge of the sea once more, not as a legend chasing power, but as a woman who has accepted a painful truth, that peace was never hers to keep without a fight. The final images suggest an inevitable confrontation, one that promises no clean victories, no easy endings, only consequences. There is no promise of redemption in The Bluff, no guarantee that good will triumph over evil.
Instead, the trailer offers something far more compelling, a story about survival, choice, and the brutal price of power. It dares viewers to step into a world where morality is blurred, violence leaves scars, and legends are forged not through triumph, but through loss. With its intense performances, grounded emotional stakes, and unapologetically dark tone, The Bluff is positioning itself as one of the most talked about action thrillers of 2026. This is not a film that asks politely for your attention. It demands it and refuses to let go. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more celebrity updates just like this.